Hello everyone, so I'm back with another test on NT Abhyas chapter wise section. This time from the NEET one, the test is Wave Optics test 1. I have solved the Wave Optics test 1 for JEE last week also, so you can check also that. Now this paper is better than that paper. It is very balanced paper. The questions are from all the three parts: interference, diffraction and polarization, and it's a very good paper for practice, not only for NEET students, also for the JEE students. Concepts are really usually the concepts which are asked more are tested very nicely in this paper. As per my analysis, 13 are easy, 13 are difficult, medium and 4 are difficult, and based on this I suppose anyone scoring 80 is doing good enough, and the one who is scoring greater than 100 would is doing very good in this particular test. So let's see what is in it. First question: in a Fraunhofer diffraction experiment at a single slit using light of wavelength 400 nanometer, the first minima is formed at 30 degree, then the total number of maxima that can be observed on an infinitely large screen. So you have this infinitely large screen going up and down, and let's say this is the slit here. So you know theirs is a central maxima, and now the first minima is at 30 degree, that is given. This is first minima. Now so this is at 30 degrees. So first of all, equating this condition, we know a sine 30 degree would be equals to lambda. So that means a by lambda is 1 by sine 30, which is 2. Now the greatest minima that we can obtain on the screen would be when a sine theta equals and lambda generally. So for the greatest sine theta is 1, so a is equals to n max into lambda. So n max comes out to be a by lambda, which is 2. So that means the greatest minima that we can get is the second, and that too at 90 degree, which is actually not possible. That means over this screen we can get a value up to 1.99, something like that. So it means the 1.5 will also be possible. So we will get to the secondary maxima, the first secondary maxima here, and also we can have this 30 degree minima here, and here also the first secondary maxima. We won't get secondary maxima because that would be 2.5 a sine theta must be equals to 2.5 lambda, which is not possible. So what we will have, 2 secondary maximas and 1 central maxima, so the number of maxima will be 3. And if the question asks for number of minimas, then we will only write 1 and 1 2, not 4, because at 90 degree the rays will go like this, so won't be counted in that particular situation. Next one: the total angular width of central maxima in diffraction at a single slit is, you know, that is 2 lambda by a. That's very easy one. Next one: an unpolarized beam of light intensity I naught is incident on a pair of Nicol prism making an angle of 60 degree with each other. So what we have, you have two polarizer. Let's say this its axis is, let's say this axis is a1, and now the second one has an axis a2, which is making an angle 60 degree with the a1. The intensity of the light emerging from the pair is, so what you have now, first of all, this is an unpolarized light, this is I naught, so this will be polarized here, this will become I naught by 2. Now because now it is polarized, we can apply the law of Malus and the angle is 60 degree. So finally we will get the rays which are polarized as per a2 axis, but this intensity I would be initial intensity I naught by 2 into cos square 60, and cos square 60 is 1 by 4, so this would be I naught by 8. So go for option D. Very standard question, asked many times in examinations. When the angle of incidence of the material is 60 degree, the reflected light is completely polarized. That means this is the theta p or the Brewster angle, whatever you call it. The velocity of the refracted ray inside the material is, you know, tan theta p is equal to n, and n is equal to c by v. So velocity is c upon tan of 60 degree. So that is 3 in 10 to the power 8 divided by root 3. So it is root 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Go with option C in this case. Next one: beam of light of wavelength 600 nanometer from a distant source falls on a single slit 1 mm wide. Resulting pattern obtained on 2 meters. So this is A, this is lambda, this is L. The distance between the first dark fringes on either side is, that you know, is 2 lambda L by A, that you directly remember. So lambda is 600 nano, nano means 10 to the power minus 9, L is 2 meters, A is 1 into 10 to the power minus 3. So what you are left with, this is 4 6 are 24, and this would be 3 to 5 10 to the power minus 4. So 2.4 millimeters, that would be the most appropriate thing that we can write here. Go for option D. Next one: monochromatic plane wave of speed c and wavelength lambda is diffracted at a small aperture. The diagram illustrates successive wave fronts vibrating in same phase at what time will some portion of the wavefront xy reach P? So at what time xy will reach P? So what we can say, this gap is lambda, this gap is lambda, this gap is lambda. So the gap it is to cover is 3 lambda. So 3 lambda by C, that would be the direct option, because you know the pattern is like that. We draw the two consecutive wavefronts in such a way that a lambda is the path difference between them. Next, in an interference experiment, monochromatic light is replaced by white light. So what you will see a central white fringe and a few colored bands on the side. So option D would be the answer, because the rest three are not possible for this particular situation or for this particular case. Next one, in a certain double slit experiment arrangement, interference fringes of width of 1 millimeter each are observed when light of wavelength 5000 angstrom is used. Keeping the setup unaltered if the source is replaced by wavelength of this. So what you know, that fringe width beta is proportional to lambda. So in the first case it is 1 mm, in the second case whatever, that would be proportional to lambda, so that would be 5000 by 6000. So that question mark value would be 6 by 5 mm, and 6 by 5 mm you can write it as 1.2 mm. That's an easy one for you. Next one, consider an interference pattern between two coherent sources I1, I2 be intensity at point where phase differences are this, then the intensity at maximize. So you know, at any point the general intensity is generally what we write at two coherent sources. It means basically both would be exactly the same. That is what we can make, or let's take them to be different. It would be I of first source plus I of second source plus 2 root IA IB, and this is cos theta. So what we are given, I1 is IA plus IB plus 2 root IA IB, and cos of pi by 3, you know, cos 60 degree is 1 over 2. So IA plus IB plus root IA IB, that is given as I1. And similarly for the second one, I2 would be cos 120 is minus half, so it would be IA plus IB minus root of IA IB. That is what you can write in this particular case. Now what we know, the maxima intensity at any point would be root of IA plus root of IB whole square. So you basically write it as IA plus IB plus 2 root IA IB. Now you are very smart, you can do this calculation. First of all, add these two. If you add I1 plus I2, it would be 2 times IA plus IB. So IA plus IB, you can write it as I1 plus I2 by 2, this term. Now for 2 root IA IB, it's better to subtract them. What you will have, it would be I1 minus I2, and no need to divide by 2 because I1 minus I2 would be 2 root IA IB. So this is what you have got. So just simplify it. This would be what you will have, 3 I1 minus I2 upon 2. So the C option is appropriate. Go for this. Next one, YDSC is made in a liquid. The 10th bright fringe in liquid lies where 6th bright fringe lies in vacuum. The refractive index of the liquid is, that means the fringe width beta has become it becomes beta by n. So the 10th has become 6. So you can say 10th has become 6. So new fringe width is this is in vacuum, and this vacuum when is equal to what you can say, this is beta in the liquid. Okay, so what you will have, so beta in vacuum, this was a 10th bright fringe was there, and now it is the 6th bright fringe. So you can say 6th times the beta of vacuum is given as 10 times the beta in liquid. So comparing it, the value of n, you can make it out, the value of n would be 10 by 6 clearly. 10 by 6 means it is 5 by 3, 1.67. Go with option C here. Next one, two light sources are coherent. We know coherency means that they have a stable phase difference. For that, frequency must be same. So go for option D, that is the most appropriate out of all. Next, hollow cylindrical beam of white light is incident on a converging lens. In air, axis of the beam coincides with the principal axis of the lens. A screen is placed behind the lens. If FV is the focal length for violet light and FVR is the focal length for red light, you definitely know FR is greater than FV, because what we have, we know this 1 by F is proportional to that n minus 1 thing, and n is as per Cauchy's formula, it is something like A plus B by lambda square plus C by lambda by 4. So you know, greater the lambda, lesser the n means greater the focal length. So red is the maximum focal length, violet is the least one. You all know this. Go for option B. Next one, hollow beam of white light is incident on a converging lens. Axis of the beam coincides with the principal axis. Screen is placed behind the lens. If the difference between screen and lens is less than both FV and FR, pattern obtained on screen will be, okay, screen is lesser than that. So what you will have in that particular case, because it is coming from a lens, the rays will be, let's say, after lens would be going like this. So here is the screen. So what we can say, this would be the pattern like this. This would be the pattern like this. It won't be straight colored bands, it would be circular color bands if you make it out. So it would be circular color bands with on there. What we will have, because the red would be converged the least and the violet would be converged the max. So this would be the red one, like we did in the previous question. This would be the violet one. So the innermost would be violet and the red would be outermost. Go with the options B. It is a nice question. Next, in a YDAC experiment, the distance between slits is D is equal to 0.25 centimeter and the distance of the screen is this. If the wavelength is this, I naught is the intensity of central maxima, then the minimum intensity of the distance of the point from the center where the intensity is I naught by 2. So what we need the intensity equals to I naught by 2. So what you will have, intensity at any point is I max or I naught cos square phi by 2. So for it becoming to be half, cos square phi by 2 must be equals to half. So cos phi by 2 equals to 1 by root 2. So phi by 2 minimum would be 45 degrees, so phi would be 90 degree. So phi is equals to 90 degree, or you would write it as phi by 2, and phi is 2 pi by lambda into delta x, and delta x is what you said, d sin theta. D sin theta means dy by d, that is pi by 2. So y would be, in the minimum case, would be this pi goes, this is lambda d by 4d, that is 1/4 of the fringe width. So lambda is 6000 angstroms. Okay, d is what you have, 1.2, and 4 into 0.25 centimeters. Okay, so 10 to the power minus 2 as well. So this becomes 1, 6 into 1.2, this is 7.2, and this would be 10 to the power, how much you will have, 3 into 5, 10 to the power minus 5 meters. So it is 7.2 into 10 to the power minus 5 meters. Go with the option A in this particular situation. Next one, in a YDAC, if the incident light consists of two wavelengths, lambda 1, lambda 2, the slit separation is d, maximum distance is capital D. The maxima due to each wavelength will coincide. So for it to coincide both maxima, we say for the first one, n1 lambda 1 d by d must be equals to n2 lambda 2 d by d. So for them to coincide, this n1 by n2 would be, you say it is equals to lambda 2 by lambda 1. So what we will have, they will you can say they will coincide when both will be, you can say both satisfies this situation. So it won't be lambda 1 plus lambda 2 like this. This is not going to be the answer, not this. It would be LCM. Yes, that is a better thing. It would be the LCM. For example, if the fringe width for the one is you can say is a 2 centimeter, the fringe width for the second is 3 centimeter. So you can definitely say at 6 centimeter it would be the third maxima, and it would be the second maxima of that will coincide. So as per option, it is the best thing. You can go with option C here. Next, figure shows wavefronts in still water moving in the direction of the arrow towards the interface PQ. Okay, the wavefront is going like this between a shallow region and a deep region. Okay, which of the lines shown may represent one of the wavefronts in the deep region? Okay, in the deep region that you have to show. So in the deep region, you try to say the speed will be reducing. So because the speed will be reducing, the best thing is like this. Draw the ray diagram first of all, and what we will have, this is the perpendicular, it will bend towards the normal, so it will go like this. So it will go like this. So what we will have, the wavefront would be perpendicular to this, so it would be something like this. So as per the available options, only the first one I think is the possible answer for the wavefronts. So always do by this. If you have a difficulty in judging from the wavefront, better is to draw the ray diagram. That's in, you can say, a sort of a ninja technique to solve the question. Otherwise, from the wavefront analogy also you can make it out that thing, but better to go with the ray diagram. That's the most appropriate thing. Next, figure shows plane waves refracted from air to water using Huygens principle, and ABCDE are the lengths of the diagram. The refractive index of air with respect to water is. Okay, so what you have here, so here what we can do, particularly here, you can say this angle was the angle of incidence, so you can make it as I also, that is by basic geometry, and this would be R you can do. So what we have is, say, n of air into sine of I would be equal to n of water into sine of R. Now do the calculations. Sine of I, you can make it out as sine of I. If you use it, the length would be and you can say it would be, what we can say, B by C, and N of water, and it would be D by C. So what you have, N of air with respect to water, that is Na by Nw, that is going to be D by B. That is the most appropriate thing. Go with option D here. Next one. In YDSE, the wavelength of red light is 7800 angstrom and blue light is 5200 angstrom. The value of N for which nth bright band due to red light, that is N lambda red D by D, coincides with N plus 1 lambda blue D by D. That is something you need to do. Okay, so the value of N, so N upon N plus 1 would be lambda of blue is 5200 upon 7800. You take the 13 table, 13 fours are 52, that is 2 by 3, so the minimum N is equal to 2. That's an easy one for you that you can get now. Next one. In a YDSE, if the slits are of unequal width, fringes will be there, but what you will have, because unequal width means I1 is not equals to I2, so I minimum won't be 0, so the contrast would not be very good and the positions of minimum intensity will not be completely dark. That's a good point you will get for B. Central maxima is still at the center of the screen. Next, a 2-slit YDSE is done with monochromatic light of wavelength 6000. Slits are 2 mm apart. Fringes are observed on a screen placed 10 cm. Okay, the transparent plate of 0.5 mm is placed in one of the slits. If it is found that the pattern shifts by 5 mm, what is the refractive index of the transparent plate? So we say the shift would be equals to mu minus 1 into T, and this is a mu minus 1 into T. So the it is the part difference, that is the additional that is being introduced. So this is the additional part difference, and this part difference makes the fringes shift by some amount. So what we can say, mu minus 1 by T is equal to, what we can say, it is equal to that the shift we say is equal to d sin theta, that is dy by d. So this y is given as 5 mm. So now what we are needed, we are needed mu or n. So mu minus 1 would be d is 10 centimeter, d is 2 mm, y is 5 millimeters, and d is what we have, d is what, d is 10 into 10 to the power minus 2, and thickness is 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. This goes, this would be 1, this is 2 into 10 to the power minus 1, or you can say 0.2. So mu is equals to 1.2. Go with the option A in this particular case. People usually remember the direct formula for shifting. You can use that. I am using the basic the part difference thing introduced and equating it to the amount shifted. Next, basically I have checked the location of central maxima. In a Fraunhofer diffraction for single slit, central maxima is obtained on both sides of it. Maxima and minima occurs simultaneously. For diffraction maxima, for diffraction minima, you know this. Light of lambda passing through a single slit W and forms a diffraction pattern on a viewing screen. If the light is then replaced by light of wavelength 2 lambda, the original diffraction pattern is completely reproduced if the width of the slit is reduced to. So lambda is changed. So what you need, because lambda is doubled, so to keep that everything same, A also needs to be doubled. So A means the slit width, that is also need to be doubled. Good, go by this. That's an easy thing for you. Next one. The two beams of light having intensities I and 4i interfere to produce a fringe pattern on screen. The phase difference between the beam is pi by 2 at A and pi at point B. If the phase difference between then the difference between resultant intensity. So I of A would be, you will say it is I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2, that is I into 4i into cos of pi by 2, which you say is 0, so that is 5 of I. Okay, now what is IB? IB you will have as I plus 4i plus 2 root I1 I2, I1 into I into 4i into cos pi is minus 1, so it is 5i minus 4i. You can write that is equal to I, so the difference would be 4i. Difference would be 5i minus I, that is 4i. Next one. In a YDSE, we get 60 fringes in the field of view for light 4000. If we use 6000, the fringe width will increase. You can directly say 60 into this 4000 would be equal to the number x into what we have 6000. So x would be 60 into 4000 upon 6000. So it would be 40. You can directly make it out. Go with option C. That's an easy one for you. Next one. A slit of double slit experiment is covered by a thin glass plate of refractive index 1.4, other by 1.7. The point where the central maxima fall before the glass was inserted is now occupied by what had been the fifth bright fringe. So the fringe pattern shift by 5 fringes. So the actual part difference, you say by the first one, assume the glass plates have same thickness. So what we have for the first one, the part difference, it introduces 1.7 minus t. The second one introduces 1.4 minus 1 into t, and that is equal to the fifth bright fringe, that is equal to d sine theta for the fifth one. So for the fifth one, you say that part difference d sine theta is equal to 5 lambda. So you can directly equate it like this, 5 lambda, because the 5 fringes are shifted now. So what you will have, if you do this complete calculation, it is 0.3 t is equal to 5 lambda. So t is equal to 5 lambda over 0.3. So this is 50 lambda by 3. That is, you can write, so lambda is what you are given, lambda, yes, you are given lambda 480 into 10 to the power minus 3 by 3. So this is 160. So 160 into 50, 16 5s are 80, and 00 into 10 to the power minus 9. So what we are left with, this is 10 to the power minus 9, sorry. So 8 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter, or you can say 8 micrometers. That's the option you will take it. Next, 25th, in YDSE, two coherent sources placed 0.90 millimeter apart. Fringes are observed 1 millimeter away. They produce the second fringe at 1 mm from the central fringe, second dark fringe at 1 mm. So what we have, the location would be at 1 mm, means at 1 mm d sine theta, that is dy by d, is equal to the first, second dark fringe, that is equal to 1.5 lambda. So the wavelength would be, lambda would be d is what, small d is 0.9 into 10 to the power minus 3. This is 10 to the power minus 3, 1.5 times capital D is what, 1. So what we are left with, this is 0.9 upon 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 6. So what we are left with, this is 3 by 5, or you can say 0.6 into 10 to the power minus 6. So 0.6 into 10 to the power minus 6, if I am right. Okay, so 0.6 into 10 to the power minus 6 meters, I am writing it. So this becomes 6 into 10 to the power, what we can say, multiplied by 100. So it would be 16 to 10 to the power minus 6 centimeter, or 6 into 10 to the power minus 5 centimeter. That is the answer you will write. Next one, if the source of light used in YDSE experiment is changed from red to violet, that means lambda is reduced, so fringe width will reduce, so fringes will come closer. So go with option B in this particular case. Next one, in YDSE setup, lambda is this, d is this, count the number of maxima obtained on the screen. You say d sine theta equals to n max lambda. So the maximum order lambda would be for d sine theta equal to 1, so that is d by lambda. So it is 7000 over 2000, so that comes out as 3.5. That means the third maxima will be there. So what we have, central maxima, 1 on both, 2 on both, and third order on both. So we will have at 7 maximas that you are going to obtain on this particular case. And if the question asks minima, so for minima you won't count 3.5, it is a minima, but it won't be there because of 90-degree thing. So for the minima thing, if it is asked, it would be only 4 minimas. Next, in a YDSE experiment, fringe width is given. If the distance between slit and screen is double, distance between two slits is reduced to half, and wavelength is changed. You know that fringe width is lambda d by d. So lambda is what you are doing, wavelength is changed from 6.4 to 4. So it is changed by a factor of 4 upon 6.4. D is what you have said, the distance between the slit and screen is doubled. This is 2 times and this is 1 by 2 times. So overall it becomes, you say 4 into 4 upon 6.4 times. So 16 upon 6.4 times of the original one. Original was 1 into 10 to the power minus 4. So 16 upon 6.4, that would be 2 point something, I guess. So it would be 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 4 meters. Go with option D, simply take the ratio, nothing else. In YDSE, the separation is slits is half, distance between the slits and the screen is doubled, that same thing. So slit and screen is doubled and this is half, so it becomes 4 times, nothing to do else. Same question, last one we are. Fraunhofer for single slit, central maxima is bright on both sides of it. Maxima and minima occur symmetrically. A light wave is incident but doesn't experience any significant amount of diffraction. What does we conclude? So if what we are getting, we are not getting diffraction. So you know, for getting diffraction, what you need, what we can say, the A should be less than lambda. That is what we need to remember, that the size of the opening should be very small as compared to the lambda. So the wavelength is approximately equal to the slit. No, and approximately equal, slight diffraction is there. Wavelength is much greater than the width of the slit. In this case, perfect diffraction will be there. The wavelength is much less than the width of the slit. Yes, that is the case. Usually you say your room window, which is, you can say 4 or 5 feet, or this is 1 feet something, and you have lambda which is in 600 nanometer sort of thing. So you won't get diffraction because as compared to the size of the opening, the wavelength is very small. So the option C is the most appropriate thing. And this concludes the paper. Thanks for watching.